I just had sex and I'm about to eat nachos! It's the greatest moment of my life!
I think just learning lines from a young age and kind of getting used to the process of learning them is sort of what gets you used to that. I also do, the musical I did on Broadway was called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and it was by the guys that wrote Guys and Dolls, so it was all that kind of similar, very fast-paced sort of stuff, and that was in an American accent, by the way, and the show did fine. But yeah, we. Sorry, but yeah. So I mean, I think that like I enjoy the fast talking stuff, and like I always liked kind of Neil Simon plays when I was young, or films, and so I love all that. But I think a lot of it's just me. Like that's my natural pace of, which is not. I'm not saying that like it's great. I'm so quick thinking. It's because I'm not quick thinking. I'm like slow thinking and fast talking, which is a terrible combination. But yeah, I think it's probably just more me than anything else. I don't think I've ever used a chat line on Go. Like I had a list of chat lines thrown at me earlier, and I was just saying, should I be using these because they sound terrible? Like these, yeah. So I definitely have. Well, I'm trying to think if I had anything used on me. I have had a couple of like fairly cheesy Harry Potter lines done to me, but I've always been quite impressed by, like, it takes some balls to walk up and say some of the things I had said to me. I genuinely can't remember off the top of my head what they were, but I just remember being kind of impressed. So not so much over fridge magnets. I'm sure I've had like my versions of meat cubes before, but we haven't done that yet. Fridge magnets, I found, tend to descend just very quickly into like how can you write the filthiest thing with the cleanest words. So that's the game we ended up playing on set, I think. Pretty much, we had like 4 days rehearsal before we started shooting. And Zoe and I had met once years before, but not for very long. And yeah, I mean, we kind of knew enough of each other in that first meeting, I think, to know we'd enjoy making the film together when we came up for the parts. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the chemistry thing is just being being interested and being open and being kind of generous and not worrying about. That's the thing. A lot of between takes and stuff is just telling each other like embarrassing stories from youth and from terrible exes or dates or whatever it is, and just swapping that stuff. So you sort of you try and match the kind of collective memory that your characters have together as well, and their shared knowledge of each other, so that you can have that relationship on screen and use that stuff. And there's stuff that didn't end up in the movie. There's like one thing I'm incredibly grateful didn't end up in the movie, which is me telling like one of the most embarrassing stories of my childhood, which is great because I will be able to improvise it and use it in another movie because it's really funny. But it's definitely it's those moments that kind of I think help contribute to that chemistry, and that takes two people. Like if just me was turning up with that attitude, it would be very frustrating 6 weeks, I imagine, on the film. But thankfully, Zoe and I both came with that sort of same spirit. In terms of Wallace and Chantry, it's very hard. That's what's lovely about the film. It's always it's very hard to show or explain why it is that two people connect in the way they do and fall in love the way they do. But in this movie, that's what it's about. It's sort of about watching them and finding out why they love each other with them. I mean, they have very similar sense of humour there. But that's also what I love about it, is that it, in a normal movie, it would be much less of a dilemma, because Zoe's in sort of your normal rom-com, there's me, the girl I fancy, and then the girl I fancy's boyfriend, who is a tool, normally. And it's just horrible, and you kind of just going, why is she with him? That makes no sense. And it's kind of inevitable that she will end up with the nice guy rather than the horrible guy. And it just makes it a much more, as you say, sort of like the whole thing about the film was trying to be truer to life and more authentic, and it makes it a much more real situation. She's not choosing between a bad guy and a good guy. She's got a great relationship. She just happens to be falling in love with somebody else, and that seems a lot more realer and a lot more, to create a bit more dramatic tension. It's not really a frustration. Like, I'm very accepting of what my life is, and what one of the limitations of my life is definitely that were I to walk on the Comic-Con floor without anything, there would be a reaction to it.
Well, without anything, yes.
Without anything, particularly them, yes. But then, that's fine. It's not so much a frustration. It's just like nice to be able to do that kind of thing once in a while, and it's and have that interaction with people without being a host person, sort of. Changing the way that people interact with you, because for better or worse. I'm not saying like cause most people's reaction to meeting someone they know from the telly is to be very nice and very very friendly. But so I'm not saying that I don't like that reaction, but it's just nice to experience life without it, even if for like an hour, even if you are wearing a Spider-Man suit.
Could you see?
I could see, yeah. We actually had to, the mask that came on the suit was pretty terrible, so we had to tuck that back in, and at the end another mask which I could see out of. Well, I literally just left it. I finished doing the play like 3 weeks ago in New York.
Yes. So what about here?
Well, I did a play here last year. I'm trying as much as I can. No, I mean I definitely want to. I definitely will do again. I hope. But I definitely haven't been making movies back to back. So the Crippled and Shman has accounted for about like 8 months out of the last 12 or so. So
and we've got Frankenstein to look forward to.
Yeah, that will be coming out next year.
Does he have an American accent or an English one?
Oh no, he's got an English one. He sounds just like a slightly rougher version of me, like just me, but just not quite as posh. But I don't think of myself as being massively posh, but I know I am a bit.
And there's prosthetics involved in that.
Prosthetics involved in that as well. Yes, quite physicality. There's it is. I don't want to say too much because it give it away, but there's you get what you think of as Igor.
Okay.
It's very easy to be cynical about love until you've had that instant connection. If you're lucky, it happens once in a lifetime.